right, dude. I'm excited to do this with you.
Yeah, me too.
We go back quite a ways. So.
It's been quite a few years.
You're one of the OGs for Wishes.
Back in the day.
In the beginning days. But why don't you give me a good intro about yourself real quick, and then we're going to hop into some crazy stories that I know you have that I've heard over the years.
So anyways, my name's Cameron Stewart, born and raised in Idaho, small town guy. I grew up in a town called New Meadows, town of 500 people. I graduated with 16 kids in my class. I happened to get the prestigious award of valedictorian of 16 kids, which
really
turns out it's not that hard to do, to beat out 15 other people, you know. So
it wasn't stiff competition.
No, it wasn't that hard. But yeah, so I grew up there, and yeah, after that I went to BSU for a couple of years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, before I joined the Army, I went to BSU because I really wanted to do. I kind of went for like physical therapy, athletic training, so I kind of wanted to do something on the sports side of things, and then I was like, well, this is gay. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
so I was
not my
cup of tea. So after that, I went back up to New Meadows, and I started fighting wildland fire. I was doing that during the summers, so I did it for a couple of years. And
How did that go? Dude, that's one of the craziest things.
It's so much fun, man. I loved that job, and the only reason why I didn't stay in it is because, so I did, between my freshman and sophomore year in high school, I did like a summer thing, fighting fire for there. Then after my sophomore year, I went back and they hired me on as the full-time seasonal position. So it was like benefits, working through fall and winter. So I did that for 1 year, all the way through that winter. And then that next year, like 2008, is when like the economy took a shit.
Yep.
And since I was the last one to get hired on full-time, I was the first one to go.
Yep.
And I was like, shit, man, I got student loans. And I'm in this town of 500 people. There's not many job options, right? So I was like, my buddy... he graduated a year ahead of me, and so he had actually just gotten back from his first 3 years in the Army, and he actually got out. He was infantry, went to Iraq, saw some pretty messed up shit over there. And so anyways, him and I were living together, and I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And so we started talking, and I was like, military doesn't sound bad. I've always kind of been interested in it. We always used to play Army as kids together and all that shit, right? And do all that stuff. So we started looking into it, and I was like, well, what do I want to do? Like, I don't want to do what you did. You're infantry. I was like, you were a grunt, you're a door kicker, and you went through some shit. I was like, I don't want to do that, but I also don't want to be a paper pusher.
Yep.
So we started looking into things, and he's like, dude, you should be EOD. I was like, well, what's that? I was like, I have no fucking clue.
Exactly. What does that stand for?
Yeah, and so he went into it, and then he started showing me videos of the EOD guys and stuff in Iraq with him and all this shit and blowing stuff up. And he's like, dude, like you're a small unit. You're not really part of the big army. You don't get messed with. Like, you do cool shit, but you're not going around kicking indoors. I'm like, and you get to blow shit up. I was like,
win.
Yeah, sign me up for that. He's like, you're smart enough. You got the test scores and all that stuff. So like, I went and took the ASVAB.
Valedictorian.
Yeah, right.
Valedictorian.
So I went and took the ASVAB. We talked to a recruiter, and recruiters obviously talked me into it. And at that time, the Army was in such need of EOD techs. It used to be you couldn't even go EOD until you were an E5.
Oh, okay,
And that was how it was for the longest time. And because of the Afghanistan-Iraq war, the surge of IEDs and everything, so they opened it up to where you can go straight in as EOD, as from Army, Air Force, and Navy. Marine Corps, no, you guys still got screwed. So,
always.
So anyways, I signed up directly as EOD, and my recruiter was like, I was 20 at the time when I signed up, and he's like, all right, we have a ship date of it was April 14th or some shit, and I turned 21 April 26th. I'm like, no, when's the next one?
Yup.
I was like, let me at least enjoy my 21st before I go
100%.
Embrace
100%.
the suck or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm like, so anyways, we pushed out for June, and then that's when I left for basic training, and that's where your
life turned.
Oh God, yeah.
I want to get into some basic training stories, because as a Marine, the boot camp was one of the greatest times, not at the time, but afterward, when you look back, you're like, okay, we survived, but it was the greatest memories. And I love hearing from all the different branches, because everybody's basic training boot camp experience completely different. Yeah. So I know, okay, so you're a little bit older. So you're not just a kid. Now you're the old dude at boot camp.
Yeah, I'm 21.
Which is, we had a couple guys that were in their mid-20s, and I looked at them like they were ancient, because we were all just children when we joined. And so...
Well, I was even older than what you think. So, like, when I went, I got there, no one knows what's going on, right? I follow footsteps and all this shit and get yelled at and all this stuff. And next thing you know, I'm looking around, and there's girls and there's, like, boys, but they're, like, young. I'm like, what the hell? And I find out that I'm in the one rotation a year that's called split ops. It's where they take kids between their junior year and senior year of high school. They go to basic training over the summer.
What?
And
I've
then,
never heard of this.
Yes, I didn't either. And then they go back to school, finish their senior year, and then when they're done, they're off to AIT.
Wait, so they go and just get their whole summer getting hazed. Well, I don't know how much the Army's doing that in their basic training, but so these kids go off, they're getting just slayed all summer, and then they go back to school,
high school for
and
their
then
senior year,
graduate,
and then go straight into AIT.
and you're a 21-year-old.
I'm a 21-year-old with semi-life experience, right? I've been living on my own. I've had jobs. I've been to college.
With wildland firefighter.
Yeah,
like
wildland. Been doing things for the past few years.
And now you're in boot camp or basic training with 17-year-old high school girls, literally.
High school girls and boys.
I've never heard of this.
And it was the most miserable thing ever. There was me and like 2 other guys that were like 21, 22, 23. So we were like the 3 old dudes in our whole basic training group. And it was, even one point in time, one of the drill sergeants like pulled us aside and was like, listen, this is gonna suck. And I was like,
really?
Yeah. And I was like, why? He's like, these are the worst groups because they're so immature. You're about to get fucked up all summer.
And it's mass punishment.
Just mass punishment. So, like, in basic training, they have, like, what they call red, white, and blue phase, right?
Okay, yeah.
Hardest phase is red, and you graduate and you get, white and then blue. We never made it out of red. The entire time we stayed in red because, like...
you're with children.
With children. They're passing love notes.
No.
Dude, passing love notes in formation and shit, and, like, we are just getting our dicks beat in the sand.
I had no idea this was a thing.
Dude, I didn't either, and it was the dumbest thing ever. And I was just like... If I would have went at that first session, I would have dodged it. But because I wanted to drink with my boys back home before I left,
understandable.
I mean, there's a trade-off, right?
Yeah,
and it was definitely fun, and I definitely enjoyed it and all that stuff. But it's just like, we got just shit on all summer long.
That's wild, man. So you make it through. I'm sure there's some crazy shit that goes on, but so you make it through, and you're probably like, thank God that's over with.
Yeah.
And now you go off to EOD school, right?
Well, so the Army, they have like a 2-phase EOD school. So they have like their preschool.
Just to see if you're even qualified.
Exactly, because EOD, the slot for EOD school at that time, it was in such high need. Like it was so super full, 75 to 80% fail out rate. So they want to make sure.
Is that standard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back then, I don't know if it still is or not, but back then that's what the standard was, pretty high. And you have to test high to even qualify to go. So the Army does like a 3-month preschool of EOD knowledge and stuff and tests just to see if you're even worthy to go. So that was at Redstone Arsenal in Alabama. So when I go
you
down
went
there,
from born and raised Idaho. Now you're in.
I went from South Carolina. My base training was at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, in June.
So you're full humidity.
Dude, just
it never experienced.
Sucking, dude, it sucked. So I go to South Carolina all summer, and Alabama in the fall, which wasn't horrible, and so I do that.
For 3 months.
For 3 months, and then I think.
How was that? What's that like there? Is it just test and?
It is. So I mean, it's a little more freedom. Obviously, in the basic training, you can smoke. You can go out after like a few weeks. You can start getting passes to go out on the weekends.
Oh,
and
the
things like that.
the
Liberties.
pass. Oh, that was the greatest thing ever.
So and then like anyone that was like a lateral transfer that was already like an E5, they had to go there too.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you're with all these other guys that have been in the military.
And a lateral transfer, just to clarify for everybody, is a lap. We call them lap movers.
Yeah.
So you had one job, and you decided to go to another job, and then so they have to they've been in the Army for a while. They still have to go through.
Yeah, they still.
So it's like recon or anything else. You got to go through your pre-rip like Rangers or anything like that. Technically.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. So so we're there with all these guys, and like you get split into your groups and your classes and stuff, and then you have. These older guys are pretty much taking care of the younger guys, trying to help them figure out what Army life is about outside of basic and all this stuff. So we did that for 3 months, and obviously I passed, thank God, and then went from there straight to Eglin Air Force Base, which is the joint school for.
Oh, so you have all the branches.
Yeah.
There.
So
except for Marines, or were Marines?
No, Marines were there. Yeah. So the Redstone Arsenal was just all Army. And then when you get down to Eglin, it's Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps.
And what was that like working? So you're still brand new.
Still brand new, yeah.
Now you're working with other military, branches, which was always fun. I always enjoyed.
It was cool. There was a lot of good dudes and gals there that were just like they had military experience, and they're just like trying to coach you through things, and like they were just as involved in the classes as you were. So you guys were all working together, and you kind of built a camaraderie with some guys that had some experience in the military. So you're learning not only EOD stuff with them, but you're learning how the rest of your life is going to look later down.
Oh
the
yeah,
road.
getting kind
I'm
of the seniors telling you what to look for.
But then again, you're like, oh, you were a grunt. Like, you don't know what this. I've heard this is supposed to be a lot better.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But,
so when you're there and you're dealing with all these guys, and now you have all these branches, is there, as far as your training wise, is it like a lot of team building? Like, what's EOD school look like?
I mean, there's a little bit. I mean, a lot. I mean, it's a lot of individual work. But I mean, like during your class is your class. So like, you sit through a classroom portion, and then so depending on the class, a lot of it was like classroom portion and then test at the end of the week.
Yep.
Right. So, but once your classroom portion was done, you had hours of study time.
Okay.
And things like that, and that's where you really get the team building. Like, hey, like I'm trying to figure this out, and I know this one, but so you work together with all these guys and try to fill in the blanks on all the problems that you're going through.
What year was this?
I went to Eglin in 2009.
Okay, so IEDs were clearly a thing. Now they were doing remote detonation with phones and stuff. Were you learning all of this, or was that all fleet stuff? Like, are they teaching you how to like disassemble?
That's like at the end of the school. So like the way that EOD school is broken down is like your first section is ground. So it's like you're learning. So EOD pretty much handles everything from bullets all the way up to a nuke, right? Like you're trained on it all. So ground is grenades, ordnance, like
how to
mortars,
dispose of them all.
Yes, yeah. So you're learning. Not only that, you're learning how the function of them, right? So you're learning all the different fuses. You're learning how to disarm them, powders. You learn fucking everything about it. Like you need to know everything, because if you walk up on something, you need to know the condition that it's in. Has it been fired or unfired? Is it armed or unarmed? Is it inert?
What country it's from? Where it was made?
Yeah. So you're doing like recons. What you go down and you have your little sketch pad and you're drawing it. You're taking measurements, and you go back.
So this is the ordnance. Mm-hmm. You're on it.
You're on it, and you're just taking notes, and you're like trying to see.
And you're not able to
any
touch it?
Nope, not because you don't know the condition of it and any of this stuff. So like, you're taking notes. You're trying to look at markings on the fuse, markings on the warhead,
colors,
colors, anything like that. And then you go back, and then you have your laptop with your pubs in it, so you can go through and look things. And you're just like, it's just a search engine, and you hope you got the right keywords, and then you start looking through stuff.
What a military thing to do. You're like, green, 6-inch long bullet.
I mean, you can obviously sort it by class. Like, I know this is a mortar. I know this is a cordless rifle round, and then size and any other indicator markings and things like that. But then you go through and search it, and then once you find the correct thing, then you can see what correct operations are to dispose of it or render it safe and things like that.
So you talk ground. Mm-hmm. Is there
then
air
there's
and sea,
there's ground, there's air, there's so the ground, there's air, then there's IEDs, there's chem, there's nukes.
What's chem? Chemicals?
Chem gear, all that stuff.
God, and how long is this class? How long is your course?
So the EOD school down at Eglin is 9 months.
I can see. Okay.
Yeah, it's 9 months. So you do the 3 months before and then 9 months. So it's like a year
long.
A year long.
So you're just cramming
just through a fire hose.
So you're not having any fun. Like you're not going out in town.
No, we did because
really.
So this is the beauty of it. So
Marine, bro. Like I couldn't. There's no way I could party and try to learn all this.
This was the cool thing. So like me and one of my friends that I made when I was at Redstone, we graduated the same time. We load in his car, his POV, and we drive down to Eglin, just us. I'm like, let's go. So we go in, we check in, and it's on an Air Force. It's a Navy school on an Air Force base, which is weird to begin with.
Okay.
But the Air Force is treated, you hear this, they're treated so well. So like we come from these old army barracks, they're decrepit,
asbestos ceilings.
Mold, all this shit.
100%.
So we go there, and like I feel like I'm walking into like a 3-4 star hotel. I go to the front desk, and they're like, "Oh, we're talking." And I was like, "Can we be roommates?" They're like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." So they give us this, and they give us a card. We go in. It's literally slide card key. You open the door. We got ground level, which is awesome, right by the parking lot.
Always.
So we can park our cars right there. We walk in. There's 2 beds, flat screen TV on the wall already. I'm like, it's literally just like a hotel.
Were your beds made?
Yes.
Dude, I just did a podcast with a guy. He was in the Air Force, and I told him my experience, how I got to go to Air Force Base. And they're like talking us down, like, sorry, we have to put you in this part of the barracks. And we opened the door, and it was like, when you open like the treasure chest.
Yeah.
Oh, it just like starts glowing gold as we like open. I was like, they had full fridges, everything. It was wild. I know exactly what we're talking about.
So we're like, this is awesome. And so like we get there, I think we got there on like a Friday night. because I mean, from Redstone, from Alabama to there, I mean, it's a few hour drive. It wasn't very far. And so we get there, and we obviously there's some guys at Redstone that we knew before they graduated before us, right? They were already down there, and we're like, so we get all of our bags, we throw in the room, and all these guys just standing outside, smoking, hanging out in the parking lot. And we're like,
what do we do?
Yeah, like, so what do we have to go report? And they're like, you want to go get a beer? I'm like, we can do that? They're like, yeah, let's go to the bar. I was like, okay.
You're almost a human being.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. So yeah, so then we just go to the bar. And so like how it would work like with EOD school is like we would do study time was in the morning. So we would go like 2 hours before class would start. I think it was like, 6:30 or 7 is what time we'd get there. And we do like 2 hours of study time, and then we do classes all day, and then we go back and we do PT at the end of the day.
Okay. And then back to studying.
Well, no, then after that, it's just you're done. Whatever you want to do. I mean, you could study if you want, but actually you couldn't. You couldn't study because you can't take any material home because it's all classified. So there's no study.
So that's why you're getting there early.
You have to study early because you can't. There's no study material. It's all classified.
Yep.
So after that, like there's literally nothing to do besides go to the beach, go to the bars, because we're in Destin, Florida.
Really?
We're on the beach. The base is on the beach.
Yeah, you're military. This is completely different than anything.
That's what I'm saying. And so like you're just partying the whole time and like trying to balance that fine line of not getting too fucked up. And I messed up one time. So I was in bombs. Was it bombs or air? It was one of those two. I can't remember which one it was. But I think I had I'm like three quarters the way through school. Mm-hmm. I had like a 96% in all of my classes, like just killing it, right?
Valedictorian, bro. It's paying off.
Yeah, just killing it, feeling confident. I don't know what had happened this one week, but I had like a shit week. Just drank a little too much, just kind of burnt out, I think. And I went in and I just completely bombed this test. And the tests are all practical tests. So it's like you get a brief. Mm-hmm. You hop in a gator with your instructor. You go down. He's like, "There's your problem," and it's like a piece of ordnance, and you have to go do your thing.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm going out there, and I'm just apparently just royally fucking up this job so bad that an instructor from the other lane left his lane to come watch me fuck up as bad as I did. And one of my best friends, I keep saying this, he wouldn't be an EOD tech today if it wasn't for me, because he had failed a couple classes and rolled back or something like that, or tests, and he was like on a retest, and if you failed that, like he was done. And he like couldn't get his thing going. So when his instructor left, he's like just doing shit.
Oh yeah, that's such a military thing.
Oh yeah,
100%.
And so like he ends up passing his test because the instructor stopped watching him completely to watch me completely fuck up. And so
now you have pressure because you see these guys standing over you.
So I fail this test, and normally, as I said, it's like you fail a test, you get a retest right away, and then if you fail that retest, you roll back a class, maybe have to go see the board and see kind of things. Like you normally always get a retest. Okay. And I don't know what had happened, but like one of the instructors just didn't like me. And this is the thing, they're badge protectors, right? Okay. You get guys in there, if like I don't like this guy for whatever reason, I'm gonna do everything I can to make him fail. Because
a badge protector is like
I don't want you wearing the EOD badge. You're not worthy of the badge. Even though you might be smart, passing everything, and so I had this one instructor who was like, I don't know why he had it out for me, and so he didn't even want to give me a retest. I'm like, dude, everybody gets a retest. He's like, nope. He grabs my study guide and he looks at it and he's like, it's completely blank. And I was like, let me tell you about how I study. Everyone learns different, right? I was like, I don't just sit there and write notes and stuff. Like, I'm a doer. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't like doing the writing. Yeah, I got to figure it out. I don't like writing shit down and sitting in front of the computer and just writing notes. Like, that's not me. I was like, I've gotten this far with a 96% pass rate doing this exact method. Like, I know what I'm doing. I just had a bad week. Let me get a retest. Let me study. Let me go back. I'll fill out your book. Just let me do it. And he takes me in front of the board.
Do you have to plead your case?
I had to plead my case. I was like the first test I'd ever failed that like it wasn't like, because like 84 is a no-go. You have to get 85 or above. Okay. And so each little mistake is, a certain amount of points. If you do like a critical mistake, automatic 16-point hit, you fail.
Damn.
So like I was like, I've literally got like a 96% pass and all this other shit. And he takes me in front of the board and I played my case, and like everyone on the board's like looking at him like, why aren't you giving this guy?
This dude's a hater.
Yeah, like why aren't you giving this guy a retest? He's obviously has a record of doing well. He had a bad test anyway. So I was like, so they put me back I rolled the class. They put me back in the class. I retook the class and then passed flying colors the rest of the way.
Yeah,
but I was just like,
like,
and then
your buddy's over there laughing at you.
We were in the same unit together too.
When you guys
we graduated. Yeah.
Oh, that's
when we graduated.
cool.
So the cool thing was like all those guys that I was with, I had been with pretty much through
boot camp on.
well, not boot camp, but Redstone Arsenal all the way through EOD school. And then when I rolled that class, I went in the class behind.
Okay.
So when everyone graduates, they cut orders by like your class, and some other fun stories. So our platoon sergeant liked me for some reason, kind of cool dude. And he comes up to me one time, he's like, "Hey, like, where do you want to go when you graduate?" And I was like, "I really want to get back to the Northwest because I hate the South. Like the humidity sucks. I want to go back. I want to go Fort Lewis."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, write your name and social down on a piece of paper." I was like, "My buddy's the one that cuts all your guys' orders. I'll see what I can do." I was like, "Sweet, man." So anyways, all my friends that are in the class ahead of me, they get their orders. They all go to Fort Lewis. Everyone. And I was like, sweet. Then my class comes around. Everyone gets Fort Hood, Texas.
Ew.
I was the only one that didn't get orders, though. I'm like, everyone got orders to Hood. And like a week later, one orders came in for me for Fort Lewis.
Oh, and your buddy was ahead of you.
Yeah. So I got put in the same company as all of them. Like,
Okay.
so, and even my captain that I deployed with, I was in EOD school with.
Really?
Yeah. So like we all
That's
had like
pretty
this
cool.
tight knit community bond.
And you guys are already a very small community to begin with.
Yeah. So like half of us went to this unit that all went through school together, and then we had some guys that were obviously already in company and stuff, E5, D6, 7, all that stuff. But so we had all these guys and our new captain, and we all had gone to school together. So.
Did you ever see that your instructor again once you got out of the fleet? Was he?
No.
No, you weren't like.
No,
he
he was a civilian dude. Like I don't remember. I don't even remember who the fuck he was.
Oh, he was a civilian.
Well, he
instructor?
was like a civilian. Like was an EOD tech, became instructor kind of guy.
They're the worst because they all got a chip on their shoulder. Like they're so much better.
Yeah,
Those were the worst
I was
dudes.
just like, dude, I had one bad test, man.
So
and everyone that was failing out,
Yeah.
if you get booted out,
You're done?
You're put at the needs of the army.
Needs of the
Yeah.
core, 100%. You're gonna be a cook or a grunt.
Everyone was getting reclassed to combat medic,
Yeah.
which I was like, I don't want to do that
hard
shit.
pass on
Like,
that one.
Bro, like I can deal with a lot of shit, but I don't want to deal with that.
No. So you get to the fleet, and I'm sure it's just more training. Or did you get orders right away? How long was it until you deployed?
So we graduated. I was in 2009, graduated in 2010. We didn't deploy till 2012. So
Okay, so you had some
because our
time.
company had just gotten back from deployment when we got there.
Oh, okay. So they need their workaround time.
Yep. So the guys got back and they all got shipped out to different companies, and then we filled all those slots. And so we had like 2 years, and yeah, it was a lot of training. We went to a lot of schools. I went to like 3 different homemade explosives courses, like one by the FBI, one down at Dugway Proving Grounds in Utah, a couple other courses, IED courses. Yeah.
So you're just learning and taking all the info because obviously the war is evolving on the battlefield. It's evolving every
Yeah, we're taking
few
like
months. They're
even
learning
just at
shit.
the unit, we're just taking storyboards of active things that are coming
Yeah.
through, and we're breaking it down. Like,
Okay.
like as the younger guys came in, like we would all get assigned like, hey, here's a storyboard. Let's break it down and let's figure out what happened, what went wrong, what went right, and so we learn in all that stuff.
During that time, you're watching and hearing the stories, and obviously dudes are getting fucked up.
Yeah, a lot.
Right. Did it start setting in? Like, when did it set in for you? We're like, oh man, like this is gonna get real because obviously you're in a unit that's probably at this point getting close to either doing workups or the scuttlebutt is going around. And
I think when it kind of became serious, like I had already like mentally prepared myself. Like I'd talked to my buddy who was in Iraq, right? He told me all the shit that he went through, so I was already mentally preparing myself. But I think the time that it really got real is this gal came in who was in one of the companies, and she was missing both of her arms. Mary Daig.
I don't know her, but I know of
she's
her.
been in like some Article 15 movies and stuff like
back
that.
in the early days, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She's
So-
got a dark sense of humor to her.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she drives a Range Rover, and her license plate says unarmed. Like she's
you
the
gotta
coolest,
appreciate
she's
it.
the
You gotta
coolest person
appreciate
there.
it.
But I remember she came to the unit and just was like missing both arms. And apparently what happened is she was deployed. They're working on something. She was carrying, like they thought they disarmed it and taken it apart, and she was carrying the explosive charge to the back of the truck to go take it somewhere else to go detonate it. And there had to have been a booby trap or something inside that they didn't catch, and it just went off while she was fucking holding it. She's lucky to be alive.
So you're like, okay.
Yeah,
Like,
and I was just like, fuck. And so like I remember like the first house party I went to that she was at, like I just sat there and like picked her brain. And it was just like I just wanted to know her experiences and all that. She ended up actually marrying one of the guys from my unit, so they're still married now. But
that's cool.
He's still a tech and he's about ready to retire, but good people. But yeah, meeting her and like seeing that, I was just like, because you hear stories, right?
Oh, for sure, but stories don't.
Yeah, you see someone come in and there's no arms. I'm like,
yeah, when you can see it and talk to it, it's
and
different.
like talk to the firsthand experience was pretty mind opening.
So it's sinking in. Time's adding up. Like as far as or ticking down to your deployment date. You got your lieutenant that you were in school with, and then your best friend that you're in school with. You guys are all deploying together?
Yeah, my captain and a bunch of my friends.
Okay, captain.
Yeah.
Okay. So where did you get your initial orders to?
To Afghanistan in RC South.
No shit.
So we are... So right before we deployed, I have to put this in there because it's a great story. Right before we deployed, we needed to get another platoon sergeant. And so my platoon sergeant at the time had to rotate over to another platoon, and we got this other guy in. And it was
a new platoon sergeant right before deployment?
Like 2 months before deployment.
The worst, bro. Did you try to reinvent the wheel, or he was cool about it?
And he was another guy that had a chip on his shoulder. He was
always, man.
But it was like this big, roided out black dude.
Okay.
And so we go to all of our pre-deployment training. We gear up. We go over there. We get to Kandahar, to CAF, and are like, when we get there, like we don't know where we're going yet. Mm-hmm. And the way EOD works is you get there, and you could be leaving as a platoon. You don't go as a company to one area.
No, you're just attached.
Split up.
Yeah.
So like you can go as a platoon or just a company, and you're just getting split up and sent all over the district. Thankfully, what was it? Two of our teams were being sent up to this place called Tarankout. So he's like, hey, we have to get stuff packed. The trucks are going to be here. He's like, throw as much of this shit in these kicker pallets as we can, and then like the rest of stuff will come up later. So, me and my team members, we're out there piling shit up. It's January, so it's snowing, it's cold. We're piling shit in these kicker pallets, and we got all done. And so every EOD team gets assigned a Barrett 50 cal. And it's not for shooting people. It's a way to disarm or SMUD, shooting a piece of ordnance or an ID, making it blow up from a distance. So we have this Barrett 50 cal, and he's like, if we have room, let's take the Barrett. I'm like, that's stupid, but okay. So I'm loading these pallets. I get it up, and there's no room for the Barrett because I get other mission essential stuff, right? I'm like, the Barrett can come a week later. It's not a big deal whenever the rest of the convoy comes up. So we get up there, and we're unloading everything, and he's like,
where's the Barrett?
And I'm like, you said if there's room, there wasn't room. He's like, I said pack the... And he just loses his mind, like straight roid raging on me. And I'm like, okay. And so like this is day one when we get there. And so we meet up with the other EOD team, and they're kind of showing us around. And so our lieutenant, our platoon leader, is talking to him. He's like, all right, we need to coordinate a couple things. We need to go visit the heavy weapons range so we can go shoot the guns on the trucks. And then we need to go find a place to blow up, do some demo, right?
Yeah.
So blow up some stuff. So lieutenant tells him, plan this op. So he plans this op, and he's like telling me, my team leader's like, go outside, or my team member's like, go outside and do some test burns on some fuse, get some time burn rates on it and stuff so we can see how long it's burning and all that stuff. So we're really out at the back of the truck the morning of this op, and we're burning fuse, just timing it, and he comes running out.
Burning fuse, you're like cutting them to certain lengths?
Yeah, cutting them to certain lengths,
so you know how, when you pop smoke, 30 seconds.
Exactly.
50, okay.
So you know the burn rate, roughly how many seconds per inch.
Now, the different fuses burn differently. Are there different fuses, or is it all kind of basic? Like a C4 fuse or whatever? Is that all?
No, it's all, like your basic burn fuse is all the same, but it's just different burn rates at variable temperatures and altitudes and all that stuff, right? So it's all about the same, but you just need to know what your burn rate is, where your location is.
Do things burn quicker the hotter they are or the colder? How much is that affected?
Yeah, it does factor in. So anyways, we're out there at the back of the truck, and we're burning fuse, and my platoon sergeant comes running out. We're running late. Let's go. And we load up in the truck, slam the doors, and we take off. I'm like, where's the lieutenant and the other EOD team?
No.
And we just take off, and we're just driving. And he's just in the TC spot, right? I'm in the back in the gun because I'm just like, well, I don't want to be up front with this guy. I'm like,
you're trying to be off the radar.
Yeah, so I'm just sitting in the back. And so, like, we're driving around, and we don't know where anything is.
Yeah.
Because we're on... Tarankout's a pretty big base. It's Australian and American.
Okay.
So, like,
we don't know... there or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So, anyways, we don't know where the fuck we're going. We end up outside of the wire. One truck Three dudes.
Just
My
mobbing.
first time ever out. Mine and the driver's first time ever outside the wire. Just us three. Just
driving.
mobbing. Just mobbing in the jerv.
But you got a good. I mean, you got a heavy on them.
Yeah, we had the deuce up top, but I was just like, where the fuck are we? Like,
yeah.
And so we're driving, and we get down to this bowl that was apparently where like the EOD team goes and does their demo shots, just takes care of IEDs, stuff like that, blow them up. So we're sitting there, and we also don't have working radios because we don't know the fills. This is literally the morning after we got there. Like, we know nothing, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm like losing my mind.
But you can't say anything because you just got your ass chewed for not bringing the
so
barrel.
I'm like sitting there, and I'm sitting in the gun, and he's like, all right. He goes out, and he like sets the charge up outside. And I forget what it was. I think there's just like a high explosive that one of the EOD teams had just been storing, waiting to go blow up, right?
Yeah.
So he takes it out, sets it up, and he's like, we need to get a hold of range control and tell them that we're about to blow this. I'm like, how?
We'd have no radio.
We have no radios. And I had in CAF gotten a Roshan. You remember?
Sat phones?
Just, no, like the Afghani little burner phones.
Oh,
With, like,
no.
the-
Yeah, I was Iraq, so we didn't have any of that.
Yeah, so they have these little like burner phones you can go buy at the market with like little minute cards and stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I had one of those, and I think I had minutes to someone else's number that had gotten one, but there's no service. We're down this bowl. I'm like, and I'm looking up at the hillside, and there's civilians lining up around this rim watching us. Because whenever we'd blow stuff up, they would come down and try to scavenge whatever they could.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we're out there by ourselves. They haven't even tested the 50 on this truck. No radios. People watching us. And I'm like, so he's like, give me your phone. And he takes it and he walks up this hill.
To the people?
Not to the people, just away from them, but to try and get signal. And eventually calls something in, I think. And he comes back, like, all right, we got like 5 minutes. Let's go. And he pops it and we just roll out. And I'm like, the fuck is going on? Like, this is crazy to me.
This is such a military
So
thing.
we like start going back, and I've been messing with the radios the entire time. And
Yeah.
I finally get it, and I get my LT on the line. I'm like, oh, thank God. It's like, coming in clutch.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
So Lieutenant and him start talking, and he's like, you're supposed to be over here. They're arguing over the net. And then my lieutenant comes over. He's like, sounds like you should have planned this op better, Sergeant. Oh. And this is like a cherry lieutenant. Super cool dude. Love the guy.
Talking to some old crusty roided out.
17-year E7 roided out fucking E7.
Oh, no.
So he starts just yelling, and so we find out that our team leader, platoon leader, the lieutenant, and the other guys are at the heavy weapons range inside the gate, inside the wire, up on this mound you can shoot out. Mm-hmm. So we get back in, and as we're driving, I just remember him. He's mumbling to himself in the headset, right? And I hear him say, shit's about to get real unprofessional. And I'm just like, what? Come again? So we pull up to the other truck. He rips his headset off and takes off running. This dude has to be like 260, like just giant. And I bust out of the back of the truck, start chasing after him, and so does my buddy. And he rips open our lieutenant's door and just starts swinging. Just going to town on the lieutenant.
And you're day one
and a half of Afghanistan.
You're like, this is, I'm not making it out of here alive.
Yeah, and so I'm just like, and so me and my buddy, we're grabbing him by the back of the vest, and we like rip him back, and apparently he had some type of like red Gatorade or some shit in his thing, and so my friends that are in the other truck thought he stabbed my lieutenant because the Gatorade pack ripped open and red liquid flies all over the windshield. And so like we end up ripping him out, and they close the door and they just take off. And we're just like sitting there, and he's just breathing heavy and just mad. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what just happened? So we get in the trucks and we go back to our camp, and the MPs were waiting for him.
No.
Cuffed him up. Out of the army.
In Afghan, he got arrested for fighting.
For hitting an officer? Oh, yeah.
I feel like I've seen this in the Marines, but it was just like, dude just handling shit. But
yeah, no, he got cuffed and taken away, booted out of the army with no retirement.
After 17 years?
17 years. That was my first few days of Afghanistan.
Oh, my God.
I was like, what the hell's going on?
So did he get replaced?
Yes. So then my old platoon sergeant, who I really liked, came back. Okay. And then they brought in someone else and took his spot because he was like, I want to be with that platoon. Like I built a relationship with all those guys, and so he came back.
How long were you there before you were running missions?
So probably like the first week was kind of ride along, left seat, right seat with the other guys, right, and stuff, and then so we're also teamed up with Australian EOD too, which is pretty awesome.
Those dudes are wild. I never worked with the EOD, but I've worked with some Aussies, and I've actually been to Australia a few times training with them. They're out of control.
I remember one of the first missions we went on with them. We're in the trucks, we're driving, and they get to like this little creek crossing. Like, all right, we're gonna check this. It's a choke point. We're gonna get out and send search dog out real quick. I was like, oh fuck yeah, so I'm in the gun. I'm looking, expecting like a mal or some shit to hop out. Dude, they open the back door and this dog hops down one stair at a time. Like a little chihuahua comes running out of their truck and is just sniffing around this gully, and he comes running back. So then a bunch of their guys get out, and they're detecting, and they get up to the other side, and as their trucks start coming over, they look at the other trucks and they go like this. And they just start like covering, like just fucking with the drivers. Yeah. But those guys were a hoot, man. We'd do like Call of Duty matches all the time with them and stuff.
I feel like the level of seriousness that the Aussies take everything is not very high at all. Like everything is a joke. Not like, I mean, they just don't give a fuck about anything. Like, oh, it'll work out, and they just take off and get in these huge firefights, and they just roll back like, like that was close. Like
they brought me a full auto AK for my birthday that they had taken off of someone. They're like, dude, it's your birthday. Here's an AK, and here's the guy's vest with all of his mags. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go mag dump it.
Use it wisely.
Yeah, so we went up to the heavy weapons range and mag dumped a bunch of mags, and then I had it hanging on my wall. God, that was cool. But the Aussies were cool. But yeah, so we were working with them quite a bit, and so we would kind of all go out together, and then we eventually started taking separate missions and doing stuff like that. We didn't up there. We ran a few IEDs, but there wasn't a bunch of IEDs there. But mainly because it was January. There's not a lot going on up there. And we were only there for a few months. Okay. And then from there we moved down to the Horn of Panjway.
And that's where, what time of the, was that?
That was like
starting to warm up.
Yeah, that was like, I would say May. Yeah, because after my birthday was in April. So yeah, it was May. We rolled down there, and the Horn of Panjway is known as the birthplace of the Taliban.
Fun. Don't you love the names? Right? Yeah. Oh, this is the Triangle of Death. Yeah. You know, telling me this as I'm like some 19-year-old kid, like, who the fuck is naming this? Like, oh, this is the alley, dude. The wildest names. Like, but I mean, so you're getting told this. You're going to go now to the birthplace of the Taliban.
Yeah.
So that's
so we're going to some places like that. Like, by the way, the Australian Chow Hall, awesome.
Everybody's chow halls are better than ours.
And so like we're going from like this cool base that they give us real Red Bulls, like flats of them, because they loved the cooks there loved EOD because they actually had an indirect rocket fly into the roof of the chow hall, and it didn't stick. So EOD came, the Australians went and took care of it. Yeah. But every time we roll up the EOD patch on, they'd give out like a 6-pack to like a platoon of infantry guys and like 3 EOD dudes. They're like, oh, here's a cart of fucking flats of Red Bull.
That's how it is. That's how it is. So you moved down south, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And things are warm. And so obviously for anybody listening, the Afghanis, when in the wintertime, there's still some stuff.
There's still stuff.
It cuts down drastically, and but as soon as the weather starts warming up or you head out into the flat country,
it's on. Yeah, just every day.
Every day.
And like the way that a lot of EOD is ran is like typically they sit back with a QRF. And infantry will go out, and if they need EOD, QRF and EOD rolls out. Yeah. We were so busy down there, we had to embed on every patrol. We didn't have QRF.
How many guys on per? I mean, so we were embedded in each patrol. You're saying
every patrol. Well, so the Horn was split up into like 3 little cops or fobs. Okay. And there was 1 EOD team on each base and 1 infantry company on each.
What's a EOD team consists of?
3 dudes.
3 dudes. Okay.
So an EOD team's 3 guys. So we'd split up 1 team on each place, and you're supporting that infantry company. And so we would just embed on every patrol because you'd have one. I mean, companies they have 1 platoon pulling security.
Yep.
And
QRF.
Then,
and then your patrol.
And patrol. And so it was just like there was just not enough time, not enough guys. So it was like.
So there's 3 of you pretty much per fob, which is forward operating base. If anybody doesn't realize, it's like a little mini base that you can snap up overnight and operate out. So how we ran ours, there was 3 teams. You had QRF, rest day, which was security for the house, and then you had your patrol day. But you don't get that. You're patrolling every day.
Every day.
You're out with every team.
Pretty much every day, yeah.
Damn,
I don't think they patrolled every single day, but like every patrol they went out on, we were on.
Damn,
and so
dude,
like
that's a lot of miles. Are you ground mounted or are you
yes, for like we would maybe drive to certain parts and then get out and
dismount
patrol,
and go?
but a lot of it was just walking straight out because your fob is right next to a village.
Yeah.
And so you're going. And dude, when we got down there, do you remember the story of Robert Bales?
No.
He was the army dude that shot up the village and killed like 16 civilians in the middle of the night.
No, I never heard of this.
Dude, this was in 2012 while we were over there. Yeah, he apparently, I don't remember the exact story on why he did it, but I think someone got hurt because everyone was getting hurt down there. Someone that he liked, a friend, close friend, got hurt or killed. He lost his shit, and he was at a checkpoint. He wasn't even at the fob at the time. He was just at a small checkpoint, an ODA checkpoint, and he just walked out in the village in the middle of the night and just shot 16. He shot a bunch of people, 16 died.
Really?
So
I'm honestly surprised more doesn't.
Tensions were super high because when you're over there, you want the villagers to work with you, right? You want, hey, where's the bombs at? Where are they in place?
We'll give you this bag of cash if you tell us where it is.
You walk in these villages, and I got there. This happened like 2 months before we got there in that village.
Oh, so it's fresh. They don't forget because they got nothing else to do over there.
It was, dude. It was just like you're watching everyone. Everyone looks like they want to kill you.
So that's okay. I remember the first kid that looked at me like he wanted to kill me. And it's weird. When you, like there's obviously, like we've been in fights growing up.
Yeah.
And you look at somebody in the bar and you're like, oh, that dude doesn't like me, right? But when you see somebody that legitimately looks at you
just
like
staring through you, like
they'll slit your throat with like a rusty spoon if they had the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's an eerie feeling. Like,
it is, yeah.
I don't know how to explain.
And like it was always there, but
dude.
like this just made it like times 10.
Now you know because now it's real. Like
Yes.
they have a legitimate reason to hate you being in their village. Yeah.
And so like we're sitting there trying to win hearts and minds, and like you're like, I don't want to walk in this village because not only they might shoot at us, but like they're not going to tell us where these IEDs are.
No,
they're not going to help
don't
us
care at
out
this
one bit. They want to watch us step on them. I'm like, fuck.
In these patrols, are you guys taking up the rear? Do you have metal detectors? Are you sweeping?
So
what
we had
what are you guys doing?
EOD would take up the rear. The infantry guys would have detectors up front.
Were there engineers with them, or was it just? Because with us, we would have engineers with us on our patrol.
It was just infantry, like E3s.
Of course.
So when we first got there, the infantry company that we were with, they had suffered some massive casualties. Just massive. And like I think they had got like 20 like privates fresh out of basic into Afghanistan when we got there. So they're like, all right, we have to get these guys spun up quick. So they set up we set up an EOD line for detecting. They set up like a medevac line and for combat first aid and all that stuff, and some tactics and things like. So we just set up all these lanes, and then we just put all these guys through all of it. And then it's kind of funny. Then we all went into like the little cafeteria, which was like 3 tables in this tent, and we did a draft. The infantry guys did a draft. Yeah.
Oh my!
So they're up there like, all right, first round, first pick is this guy, and each guys that are going through, and they're like pulling names off and writing them on the board. So we just did like a fantasy football draft of these fucking new guys,
the new bodies, the FNGs,
So then we had to train all these guys up on how to detect, and then they go out and detect and.
So my second deployment, we got attached to a engineered team got attached to us because we were sweeping palm groves like all day, every day. I'm not going to lie. That was some of the most fun. Like when you're just 2 hours into nothing and all of a sudden it's like, boop, boop. They look at you like, oh, and you're like, it's like Easter in a way, and you start digging. I think the coolest thing we found, we dug up one of the 4-gun, when you sit in it and the old surface to air, like, in like Vietnam when you see like the old Pearl Harbor.
One of those up.
Dude, a whole one in the palm groves. And it worked flawless. I mean, but we were digging up barrels, 50-gallon drums packed full of arty rounds, mortar rounds, grenades. And then we got the bright idea, oh, hey, they're going out to these islands in the Euphrates River and they're full of caches. But I mean, I'll be honest, it was fucking so much fun. Like, just you be in somebody's yard, beep, there's just a mortar tube, like, and all these mortar rounds, and you're like, it was just like Easter every day when we got to do that kind of stuff.
It was always interesting to see what we find. Like one time, one of the guys popped on something, and it was off the side of the trail, which is interesting because normally, the main charge is going to be in the middle. And so we're like, all right, let's go see what it is. And we dug it up, and it was a old white phosphorus 155 round. It wasn't hooked up to anything. Okay. It was just stored there.
Yeah.
And we're on a foot patrol. We're in the middle of nowhere, like miles away from the truck. And I was like, shit. I don't have enough demo on me to get rid of it properly, but there's another technique is you put just a few blocks of C4 underneath it, set the round on top, and you pop it up, and it splits it open and then just throws the white phosphorus everywhere, which starts burning.
As soon as it hits air,
as soon as it hits air,
right?
it activates and starts burning at like 3,000 or whatever, some god-awful number, just super hot.
Yeah.
Turns out I took it to the middle of a weed field and popped it off in that and just caught that whole weed field on fire. All the infantry dudes were running through it, just fucking like huffing. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome!"
So you set the Afghan Kush on fire with a white phosphorus.
Yeah, we just popped it up, and like the funny thing is, like we're watching it go up, and it's just throwing shit everywhere. Like, where's it gonna come down? And then it falls and lands in the creek and seals back up. We're like, well, that's someone else's problem. If someone else digs that out, they're gonna have a bad day.
Yeah, when it ignites, it hits the air again.
Yeah, they're gonna have a bad day.
Did you guys run into any opium fields over there?
Oh yeah, tons.
Really,
tons of it. And like the cool thing is, like we saw like the poppy fields when they were all flowered.
Yeah,
and it was
beautiful, huh?
Beautiful, just rolling hills of just all these vibrant colored flowers, and like it was super cool to see.
Until you put them in your pocket. I've heard dudes like ODing over there. They were like popping freaking poppy plants off and stuffing them in their cargo pockets and like ODing on shit. I don't know how the real that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you guys are over there now. You're operating. What's some of the wildest shit? Like what was the first one that you had to like defuse? Okay, so here's my simple mind of just being a Marine, not being an EOT tech. Is it always the red wire that you have to cut?
No, it is not.
The hurt locker.
It is not.
You know?
No. Color does not coordinate to anything. You need to trace it and see what it goes to. You can use any color wire you want.
So you're saying the hurt locker is completely a fake movie?
I mean, kind of. I went off base in my hoodie and got into firefights by myself in town,
right,
you know?
Right.
That shit happens.
So you... Exactly. You're not just going and kicking trunks of cars that open them and just stacked full of more...
Getting in sniper fights with the Barrett, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Do, right?
But so you're over there and you get a call and like, what's the protocol? Like, what was your first mission? Were you pretty nervous? Like the first, like, okay, we have some, not just like, you know, a pile of ordnance, but like when you legit came across like your first...
Yeah, I mean, so the first few ones that I did run were from the truck, thankfully, because that kind of got my feet wet without like drastic consequences, right?
Yeah.
So like you get a call out like, hey, there's an IED in the road. Cool. We go up, we drop the robot. And I love driving the robot. That thing's fun. And I was pretty good at it. So I dropped the robot. I go up there. I'm interrogating and all this other stuff. And you find, you know, you're digging around and you find some stuff. And you, at that point, it's either like, all right, are we going to blow it in place or are we going to try to render it safe and move it? Most of the time, it's like, let's just blow this thing in place.
Yeah.
Like, that's not worth it.
There's already a million holes in the roads
Exactly. I mean, we try to avoid that half the time. I mean, just because you don't want to make another hole for them to bury it, but sometimes it just calls for it, right? So the first few I did was just blowing stuff in place and, you know, I was taking the charge down with the robot and stuff. And we didn't do a whole lot of foot patrols up at Taran Kaut, that first place with the Australians. There's a lot of truck mounted stuff. Okay. Although when I was there was a SEAL team there that we got attached to because they had one Navy tech. He was a SEAL and he was a tech.
Okay.
So when they would do flyaways, they would request Army EOD support so we can have more guys.
Yeah.
So it was like me and two other dudes. We'd always kind of rotate in on those missions because we loved doing them, and we would just volunteer because it's fun.
Fun. Yeah.
Doing flyaway and going to do cool shit in the mountains like for 3 days.
What you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Those were the craziest ones.
Why is that?
And they weren't. It wasn't EOD related though. It was just the craziest because the shit that the SEALs get into.
Oh yeah, and you're attached to a SEAL team, so you feel cool.
Yeah, but like
they're Navy SEALs and they got all the cool shit.
Every air asset imaginable. Holy shit! I saw everything in one day. The AC-130, the drones, a fast runner with a 500-pounder, helicopters.
They call it A-10s at all? Or
we didn't get A-10s. We got the fast runners with the 500-pounders, and we got helicopters, and we got the drone, and then we got the AC-130 gunship.
How cool is it seeing a JDAM dropped?
Oh my God, it was beautiful. Like we play with them all, like obviously in problems and all this other stuff and all the time, but like seeing one dropped on a dude's forehead on the mountainside was just the coolest thing ever.
It just levels the whole mountain.
It made me so happy because like we were in it was like an 8-hour like long tick.
Yeah.
just back and forth with these
Explain
guys.
what a tick is.
Troops in contact.
So you're just 8 hours is a
It was,
long
but
firefight.
it wasn't like consistent. It was
Okay.
like we're pushing through this valley, and we would reach a certain point, we get in contact, we do a bunch of shit, and then it die down, and then we keep going forward, and so it's just like a long day of just a lot of shooting.
And you got to think where your adrenaline just 100% redlined,
Yeah.
comes back down, 100% redline, comes back. I mean, and you're just doing that all day,
yeah.
all day.
Yeah, so I mean, those were the craziest ones. That was actually where I got my combat action badge. So,
Oh, nice.
which is like where you
Yeah.
get awarded for being in combat for
Yeah.
taking fire and giving fire back and all that stuff. And that was with them.
That's pretty cool.
That was, those were the craziest times just because of just the amount of shit that we did. And then like they were doing like supply drops in the middle of the night, and we had like 60 Afghan commandos with us. I mean, there was like 12 or 15 Americans and like 60 Afghan commandos, which is like their rangers, right?
Yeah.
So we fly out there and we do all that stuff, and like they do this supply drop, and it all lands in the river.
Of course.
And me and the other EOD guys, we look at each other like, we're gonna go clear the road.
Yeah, we got
You
work to
guys
do.
go down there and pull that shit and put it in the truck, and then we'll clear the road for you. We knew there's no IEDs out there. We flew to a remote village. Like they're
Yeah.
not putting IEDs in the middle of nowhere for no reason.
Yeah.
So we're like, we just walking down
We're
the
gonna
road.
go.
Yeah. So I was
we're
like,
gonna
fuck
do
this shit. Like,
no, I'm not getting wet.
No. So, but those were super fun. But then like EOD side of things was definitely down in Panjway. Just like, I mean, we ran like 9 IEDs in like a 100-yard stretch on this one
Really?
path.
What's the scariest thing that you came across? Like, what scared? Is there one thing that you were more worried about more than others, or is it all kind of the same?
No, I mean, just the IED portion, because they were so good at, like, the IEDs they would make were so crude and so crudely made that they were good. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
It
wasn't what you were following and learning about, like, oh, this is how
like
they found new
well,
ways.
and like one of the things is like whenever they place an IED and they see military come around it, they're watching, right?
Oh, for
they watch every move that you do, and if they watch you, an EOD tech, do the same thing 2 times in a row,
They got you.
So you have to do something completely different. So if they see you get out of the truck and you take 10 steps forward, turn right, 5 steps, and you make the same path every time to approach a problem,
They're
going to put a secondary on that path every time. So you have to do something different every time, because they're constantly studying you.
Talk about stress.
Yeah,
bro.
like there's just a lot, and
they're
I mean-
filming everything, because I mean,
yeah.
how many videos have we found cameras that just watched?
I think one of the wildest ones I did is we were sitting on base, and there was a convoy coming in, and the infantry guys come up like, we just hit an IED. I was like, oh shit, okay, like we gotta go run a post-blast analysis on it. Like, is anyone hurt? We're going through everything, and I was like, where's the truck? So we go look, and like the truck's fine. I'm like kind of confused, because all the ones they put in the roads were like 60 to 90 pound charges. Like they are gonna decimate a truck.
A truck or a hum? You guys are in MRAPs at this point, or what are you guys in?
Well, we were in a Jerv and MRAP, but they were in Strikers.
Okay, so
like a
when you say
8-wheeled
destroying, is it flipping them, or
Oh
is it,
yeah, just flipping them.
damn,
like
dude. Okay, these are
doing some
big.
damage.
Okay,
If they hit underbelly, if they
Yeah.
hit like a mine roller, then obviously that's different. But so I go up to this truck and I'm looking, and like I don't see anything wrong. And like he's like, dude, we heard a loud boom and pop and all this other stuff. And I'm like trying to deduct it. And I see like the wheel has a hole in it. And I was like, okay, that makes me think like something penetrated, right? There's some type of explosively formed penetrator, something like that, or something. So I'm like, all right, let's go out to the site. So we get out there, and we're looking at it from the camera on the truck, and we see disturbed earth, all this other shit, scorch marks. I was like, okay. So I get out of the truck, and I walk around with my detector, and I'm looking around, and I start seeing like all this yellow shit all over the ground. And I was like, this is weird. So I'm looking around, and like I'm not seeing anything. There's not like a crater.
yeah.
There's nothing. And I go further out into the field, and I find a set of wires that's leading to the road, goes all the way back there to a hut. And so I, go back and tell the guys like, hey, keep an eye on that hut.
Put guns on that hut.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure it out, and then eventually what it can, like, and that right there is nerve wracking. Whenever you see something that's remote detonated, right? That's like not victim operated, like
It's getting serious.
yeah, it's like, okay, now I'm not in control of the situation, right? Someone else is. If I don't know where they have something, they can set it off at any time. But if I know there's something in the road and it's pressure plate, just don't go step on it. You're good.
But you don't know if it's connected to a cell phone. These guys are sitting on.
Yeah,
a
but
line.
typically where we were at, it was either command detonated or just pressure plate. But 90% of them were just pressure plate.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm not too worried about the cell phone thing, and not to mention
that was more of an Iraq early day thing.
Well, you have jammers and stuff too, and all that stuff too, right?
Yeah,
so I'm like, I'm not too worried about it, and that's why the wires like that you can get through with wires doesn't matter. So I'm like, this is sketchy. So we're looking around, and I'm just. Turns out all it was what I eventually deducted. I found some more evidence and put it together. They had set a Chinese 107 millimeter rocket on the side of the road.
Okay.
With a command det on it to launch it into a truck, but they don't take into account that it needs X amount of space in flight before it actually arms
itself. Yeah.
So it just hit the side of the truck and just blew apart. And all the yellow stuff was propellant and explosives and stuff like that that didn't go off. But I was just like, that one was kind of nerve wracking because I just walk into the scene. I'm like, I don't see a hole. I see yellow shit everywhere. I see wires. I'm like. Okay,
so you got to build this crime scene.
Yeah, let me take a step back and think about this really quick while not spending too much time on the ground.
Oh yeah, for sure. The longer you are, I mean, your minutes are ticking whenever you get out of that vehicle because they're on the radio immediately. I mean, you're hearing them talk, and they know you know that they know we're there. So that's always
and EOD had a bounty on their head, right? Because it's just a battle between you and me.
Yep.
It's like, can I be smarter than you, or can you be smarter than me? And so it's just like every time you got out of the truck, it's like, okay, here we go. But thankfully, most of the shit that we had to deal with, like, it was all victim operated pressure plate stuff and all that. And, obviously one of those got me later on in that deployment, but not me personally.
Okay, so I want to get into this. Yeah. But first, I want to ask a question. How often are you even using bomb suits? Is that even a thing? Was that even a thing for you? Because I feel like that's the biggest, bulkiest, heaviest shit that you can ever carry around.
No, I mean, so when you're on foot patrol, no bomb suit at all. Like you're not carrying that with you.
Yeah. How much does that weigh? It's got to be a couple hundred pounds, right?
No, it's not that much.
Really?
It's like 90 pounds. Like
okay.
Fuck, I don't remember. It's heavy enough to where it's like it's bulky, right? So you're not putting that in a bag and carrying it with you. So
so if you, this is just, I have this question I've always wondered. If you were in that suited up, right, and somebody like tossed you a grenade, are you good?
A frag grenade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would fuck you up wearing a bomb suit? Like how big?
So the
what
biggest,
are you safe to?
So obviously like the bomb suit's all Kevlar and all that stuff, right? So it's going to catch a lot of that frag. It's mainly overpressure that's going to kill you.
Percussion,
yeah. So and the bomb suit isn't even meant to keep you alive. It's meant to keep your body whole so we can bury it.
Oh, that's comforting.
Yeah. So, I mean, think about it. You go on you're working on an IED that's 60, 70 pounds that's meant to destroy an armored vehicle. Ain't going to do shit for you.
Isn't that amazing that we sign up for this shit?
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But.
All right, so let's get to you getting blown up. They got you.
Yeah, they got me.
They got you. So let's start with that day, early that day. Like, let's walk us through.
So, let's start the day before. Like, we had just gotten off like a 3-day field op.
Okay.
We get back to our tent, obviously tired. Then we get orders. Hey, we got a clearance op up north at this other area. They're requesting extra EOD support. So you guys need to get your shit and load up, and we're taking you up there. I was like, all right, cool. So we repack our bags, get everything loaded up, head up there. We meet up with one of our other platoons or teams from my platoon.
Okay.
And so my team leader, the one that got punched in the face, was up there, the platoon sergeant, and then one of my buddies that I went through EOD school with and all that stuff. So I hadn't seen him since like getting deployment because we just got separated, right?
Yep.
So we get up there, and they're like, yeah, it's like this huge clearance op that they've been working on, so we're going to be split up into different teams, blah, 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 and we're just going to be going doing this whole thing. And I was like, all right, cool. And they're like, but we have an issue that we want to do. They're like, so I guess one of their other teams was out on mission already, and so it just left those three, and typically they don't like the platoon leadership going out on mission together, right? They want to split it up in case something happens. Yep. So me and Lieutenant swapped. I was like, Lieutenant, you go with my team. I'm going to go with these guys because I want to hang out with my buddy. And I like the other platoon sergeant. So we swapped teams. So we get out, and we get our brief, and we start doing our patrol through these fields. And, just like guys are, me and my buddy just talking mad shit. He actually told me the morning of the mission, you're going to get blown up today.
No.
Yeah, dead serious. Dead serious.
Have you used that against him?
Oh, yes, 100%. 100%. He's still in, so I still use that shit against him.
Yeah,
but,
I have to.
So we're going on this patrol, and I don't know how many dudes were in our formation. Let's just say 50. Like it was a big patrol.
You're doing a big sweep.
Big sweep.
Okay.
So we're going through these fields and we're doing the single file line. And you have your like first 2 or 3 guys are the detectors, right? And they're searching your cleared path and you're following them. They're leaving like a baby powder line every so often, and that's your left boundary. You have 3 to 4 feet roughly from that left boundary. So just hug that, and that's your cleared path.
And you're good.
I'm like number 49. I'm second to last in formation. Second to last. EOD was at the very back. The only last person behind me was a Navy explosive detection dog handler.
Okay.
And this guy was an interesting character. Kind of round, out of shape, Navy dude, didn't like to listen. He had his dog on like a retractable leash, one of those retractable leashes. And it's like we're walking through the patrol. One of the number one rules of patrol is spacing, right? Contact, IEDs. If something happens, you don't want mass casualties.
Mass cas is the worst thing, worst case scenario. So
keep your distance between you and the next guy. So we're walking, and it's like when you're at the very back, like you played Slinky in Traffic, right? It's just like that, the back of a long formation. So we're literally just dragging our feet. Me and my friend are just talking mad shit to each other, haven't seen each other in like 6 months or whatever. And his dog kept running up, and like obviously the dog, I'm carrying a backpack full of C4, det cord, blasting caps, fuse, like all types of
Will a blasting cap take your hand off,
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Blasting cap will just destroy. If you're holding it, your hand's gone.
Okay, so you have a lot.
I have a lot of explosives in my bag, and so does he. And so I'm like, the dog kept coming up, and like, I'm like, dude, keep your dog away from me. He's obviously hitting on my bag. He's doing what he's trained to do, but like, you need to keep your dog away from me. Yeah. And like, even at one point, the dog had ran up and like went around me and like wrapped his leash around my legs. I'm like, dude, keep your dog away from me. Mm-hmm. So like later on that afternoon, we're stopped, waiting for them to do whatever they're doing up there. I can't even see the front of the formation. We're just sitting in the back shooting shit. And from my recollection, so like sitting there talking to my buddy, he's turned around facing me. Everything goes black. And like as my eyes are trying to focus, like everything is spinning. And I was like, what the fuck? And I like land on the ground. I'm like, Jesus. So I'm like laying on my left side, and like I open my eyes and I see a Solomon boot. And I'm like, well, I'm wearing Solomon boots, and that's my foot. And I'm not this flexible. So something just happened that shouldn't have happened, right? And so I'm like, shit. So I like roll on my back, and at this point, like I'm still not feeling anything. Like just still dazed, confused, concussed.
You have no idea.
No idea what just happened. And I roll over and I just grab my ankle, like my boot, and I just kind of flop my leg down. And
so your boot's in your face.
My boot is touching my nose. My right boot on my nose. Clear as day, Solomon like on the toe. Like I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so I roll over and I kind of like flop my leg back down. And at that point, it starts setting in like, okay, IED.
I'm hit.
Something's not right.
Tourniquet.
Like, tourniquet. And so at this point, we start screaming for the medic. And then that burning sensation starts kicking in.
How bad was that burning sensation?
At first, like it was kind of gradual. From what I remember, like it was kind of gradual leading up. It didn't really start hurting until they started putting tourniquets on me.
Is it like a warm burning sensation, or is it like just?
Dude, it almost felt like just someone was dumping hot water on my leg, like really hot water.
Okay.
And it was just like stinging. And like I remember, like by that time, like dudes are running down the line, they're cutting my pants up from my ankle, and like I just see like gore on my leg. I'm like, oh fuck, am I gonna lose it? And like I don't know, and like we have to control the bleeding.
Where was it broken at? Above or below the knee? Or was it your femur?
Both. So I broke the neck of my femur that goes into my hip. I shattered my femur, shattered my tib fib, and my foot. And then fractured my left knee and left ankle.
So your whole right leg is
just
completely mangled.
Just mangled. Like, as I said, when it just rolled over and like it just did this flop. And I was like, oh shit. Like I can't even control it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude.
So they start cutting my pants up, and I'm just looking at it. I'm like, oh shit. And so they're like, all right, we have to put a tourniquet on it, but this is going to hurt.
Yeah. And it's a high tourniquet.
High tourniquet in the groin where I just shattered my femur.
So they're
cranking down a tourniquet, and then they're like, we got to apply another one because we can't stop the bleeding. So then they put a second tourniquet on high and tight over my shattered femur, and they start cranking. At this point, I am just screaming in pain. The medic gave me a little morphine shot. Didn't do shit. It might have done a little, but like not enough.
It wasn't a Vietnam. It wasn't a Vietnam dosage.
It probably was. It's probably something way old and out of date or something.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah.
So you're laying there, dudes are putting tourniquets on. Are you starting to panic a little? I feel like I would be full
I
of
was.
panic.
I was like, fuck, am I going to lose my leg? Am I going to die? And then at this point, like, so at that time, I was a smoker.
Okay.
And so I was wearing cry pants that have little pockets on the quads.
Yeah.
So that's where I kept my cigarettes. And I pull them out and I open it and they're just shredded. And I'm like, I really want a cigarette right now. And I start yelling for a cigarette. And I remember, like, plain as day, this is the funniest thing. Like, I'm just yelling, someone give me a cigarette. And this dude yells, I got you, bro. And I look over and he comes running down the line, lighting a cigarette, and slides next to me like he's stealing home plate and just puts it in my mouth. And I just laid back and just smoked a cigarette as they're like bandaging up my leg after they got the tourniquets on and stuff. And listening to a call for the medevac. And then, so they put me on a Skedco. You know what a Skedco is?
Hold on.
Okay.
Did you step on the IED?
No, yes, we gotta get back to that. So no, I did not step on an IED. So normally, I've seen a few guys step on an IED with this size, and it pops your leg off. Usually right below the knee, it's gonna pop that leg off. Yeah, and so I'm like laying there, I'm like, what the hell happened? And like I'm looking around, and I see my buddy up front, he's laying down, and he's just like holding his face. Dog handler behind me is laying down, holding his head, and then I see parts of the dog.
No.
Yeah. So like the dog's back half was like back towards the dog handler, and the front half is laying next to me.
So the dog.
From what I can gather, we have that 3-4 foot wide cleared path. I'm standing on the cleared path. There had to have been an IED about 1 to 2 feet to my right. That dog had probably ran up on his loose leash, smelled it, but also smelled my bag. Couldn't quite pinpoint a location of what he was smelling and stepped on it.
And blew you up.
Yeah. So like,
did you have any dog fragments in you?
I don't think so. Not that I had heard about. But like the only thing I can think of is like, as I said, like whenever a person steps on an IED, it's going to pop that leg off.
Yeah.
You have a high center of gravity. So that blast wave is just going to do a lot of damage to that lower leg. What happened to me, what I'm imagining is that the dog has a low center of gravity, got blown in half, is that upper portion of the dog got wrecking balled into my legs at Mach 30 or whatever, and then just the blunt force trauma of that amount of meat hitting me in the side of the leg just shattered the entire thing.
So you got blown up by a dog?
Yeah. His name was Dynamite.
Shut the fuck up. The dog's name was Dynamite.
Dog's name was Dynamite.
It was fate, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting day. But yeah, I was just like, I don't know what to say. It was just crazy.
So you almost lost your leg by a chunk of an animal.
Yeah.
Not even the IED.
Yeah, I mean, well, the IED... I mean,
the blast, I'm sure, had something to do
the
with
blast shredded my lower leg.
Yeah.
I have a huge scar down there and damage and stuff, but the blunt force trauma of the bone breakingness wasn't from the blast wave. That was from the dog.
Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
Where do you even go from there? I mean, there's just chunks of dog laying everywhere.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I just remember seeing like bloody fur next to me and bloody fur back by the dog handler, and like it didn't really. At that point, I still didn't really know what had happened, like because I wasn't thinking.
Yeah,
about it. I'm just
absolutely.
like I'm focused on my leg, focused on me. I'm looking at my buddy. I wasn't focusing on what had actually happened, but that's the best that we can figure out. And like, so anytime troops get hit, another EOD team has to come and do a post-blast analysis.
And they came out
and they ran an investigation on it, and they gathered all their evidence and wrote their storyboard on what they thought happened. And
oh my God, talk about some shit luck.
Yeah, and I was like, I had even told him, right?
All because your buddy had to say it.
Had to say it. Yeah.
I've heard several stories like, I mean, you know Eric G.
Yeah.
He said it to his buddy, I believe. I'm gonna have him on soon, and the day he got blown up, he looked at his buddy, was like, if I get blown up, it's your fault. He turned around and stepped right on it. But dude, that is insane. Like, did you ever hear from this guy again? I mean,
no, the dog handler.
Yeah.
No, but the funny story is, and like, I don't want to take anything away from him and like what happened in the situation. Like,
well, fuck that dude.
There was. I'm pointing some fingers, but at the same time, like accidents, shit happens, right?
It's war.
But my same buddy that was in front of me that told me I was going to get blown up, like, it had to been like a year later, sends me a YouTube link, and I should try to find it again. It's an interview of this dog handler about the day.
Please find it.
I should try to find it. But he portrays himself out to be some hero. He's like, the bomb went off. I ran up and I was rendering aid on the EOD guy. I'm trying to render aid to my dog. I'm like, bro, you were sitting there holding your head like a little bitch. Rightfully so. An IED just went off in close proximity to all of us. Like, we're all rocked.
Oh, for sure.
So, like, no one's going to hold that against you by saying, yeah, shit.
Cool. It's cool, dude.
Yeah.
Like, take the L. Like,
Yeah.
You know?
But, yeah, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, this lying sack of shit.
What? And your buddy just took a bunch of debris to the face, or
Yeah,
what?
and so let's get back into that story really quick. So they get me on this Skedco, which is like a hard plastic roll-up kind of backboard stretcher.
Oh, okay.
But it's very limber, right? So you can roll it up. And so they're carrying me to the medevac zone in the field where the helicopter's coming in, and I'm just excruciating pain.
How far of a distance? Because sometimes it's kind of far.
I don't remember. It wasn't very far. It had to have been like 100 yards maybe,
okay.
because we were already out in kind of a field. But I remember we had to go over a wall, and so they passed me over a wall, and like I'm being slinkied over this wall, and my hips are just bending, and it's just excruciating.
Screaming.
So they finally get me out to the helicopter. Dirt's hitting me in the face. They get me on the helicopter. I'm in so much pain. I'm screaming, and I kind of look over and I see my buddy, and he can't see. He's blinded, temporarily blinded from the blast, getting pelted in the face with all this shit.
Rightfully so.
And he can't see, and he turns to me and yells, "Cameron, shut the fuck up. I just got blown up."
He didn't know you got blown up?
He didn't know. He had no idea.
He's like, why is nobody helping me?
Yeah, he just knows he's on the bird and he can't see anything. And so he thinks he took the brunt of it, which, I don't know what I would think at that point, but probably something similar. But he tells me that. And so
This is the worst day ever.
The 160th came and was our medevac bird. And I remember this dude hops on top of me, sleeveless, with a plate carrier on, and just yells, "Go to your happy place, bro," and sticks me with ketamine. I woke up 3 days later.
Were you in Germany, or were you
No, I was
still
in Afghanistan. Yeah, I was still in Kandahar at that point when I woke up.
Then from there
I went up to Bagram for a night, then to Germany for 7 days before I got to go back.
Did they do any surgeries at this point?
Like, so they had put like an external fixture, the big metal tube that like has all the rods drilled into your bones
so
to hold it together.
already.
I'm pinned externally just to kind of hold it together.
Yeah.
And then I went to Bagram. They did another surgery up there of just kind of cleaning shit out.
Okay.
Make sure there's no infections, cleaning stuff out. And then when I got to Germany, they had to do a lot more preparatory stuff for the long flight back to the States.
And you've already started a healing process, so is it just excruciating all over again with them having to pretty much, are they scrubbing you, opening things back up? Like, how did that go?
Theoretically, it shouldn't have been had they placed my epidural correctly, but they didn't. So, yes, it was excruciating. And they didn't believe me when I was telling them that everything they did on my right side was killing me. And they're like, "It's all in your head. Like, you're not." I was like, "No, I'm feeling this. Trust me." So they finally, in Germany, wheeled me down to anesthesiology. They do an ultrasound on my back, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we missed it." So they reset it. And then at that point, I was like,
"Do whatever."
I don't feel anything now. But for that first 7-ish days, it wasn't placed right. And yeah.
How close did you come to losing your leg?
So,
because you got a pretty gnarly scar, and it's shaped. It's got a unique shape to it.
Yeah, it was pretty close. The doctors were talking about like what they call limb salvage. I'm like, is it worth trying to repair, or is it just better to cut it off?
Because then you're gonna be struggling. Because I know a few guys that went through that. They tried to save their foot, and it took years. And they never recovered. And
and I was like, I want to keep it. Like, if I can, I want to keep it. And then looking back at like, so I know guys that they're amputees, right? And a lot of guys are amputees. Some above the knee, some below the knee, and a lot of those guys they get around really good.
Oh, for sure.
Like, super good, especially below the knee guys, right?
Below the knee amputees, and I'm not. This is coming from below the knee amputees. Obviously, we've worked with over the years.
Yeah.
They've told me in the amputee world that's a paper cut.
Yeah.
Like, you're up and running in 6 months.
Yeah.
If you
as I said, I know guys that are running. I can't run anymore because of my joints. Like, so I kept the leg. So the benefit is I don't have to put something on to go take a piss in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I can hobble over to the bathroom and take a piss. But like the joint damage and the arthritis that has set in, like, it sucks. But there's pros and cons. I enjoy having my leg. I can still get up a mountain. I'm slow, but I can do it.
Yeah.
So
I've seen you hike.
Yeah. I can still do a lot of things. I don't run anymore, which is a great excuse. So
Hey, I'll take any excuse.
leg
to not
day,
run.
also an excuse. I still try, but I don't have to lift heavy. My knees. Oh no.
Yeah. I
So,
can see it.
Yeah, no.
Dang, dude, that's wild, man. So how long was the recovery? So once you got to the States,
So I was inpatient in the hospital for like 45 days total.
gross.
Yeah. Walter Reed, though, was actually
Yeah,
dope.
Walter was pretty nice.
It was pretty nice. So I was at Walter Reed, and then they gave me an option of staying there and doing my entire recovery there, or getting sent back to Fort Lewis and doing my recovery there and being back home, and all that stuff. And at this point, my wife was with me. My dad was with me. And so we made the decision to go back to Washington. And so we went back there. And big mistake. Should have stayed at Walter Reed.
100. I was gonna. Yeah.
Biggest mistake of my life. Because Madigan Army Hospital, sure they're good, but like they don't have the.
It's not Walter Reed.
Yeah, it's not Walter Reed.
Yeah.
Like by the time I got discharged out of the hospital in Washington, I was supposed to start physical therapy. They couldn't get me in for 9 weeks. 9 weeks. I'm like, who's ahead of me here? Yeah. Is it guys that rolled their ankle playing softball for PT? Or is it a guy that just almost lost his leg in Afghanistan? Like, so I was already frustrated back there.
And you're bitter.
Yeah, super bitter.
Life changed.
Life sucked.
Yeah.
My company was still deployed. I got put in this company. It's called the Warrior Transition Battalion.
The worst.
Because they're like, you're getting out. You're not staying in. And I was in the middle of reenlisting when I got blown up too. So they're like, you're getting out. You can't stay in. So they put me in I don't even get to go back to EOD company. I had to go to this other company with all these other hurt people. And 90% of them are
not
just
even combat.
Not combat. They're mental, or they hurt their ankle playing softball, stupid shit like stupid shit like that. They're just getting discharged because they can't physically perform anymore.
Yeah.
And so that just really sucked the life out of me a lot. And it got to, it was good when my company redeployed, and then because I became good friends, because rightfully so. Like there's me and like 2 other dudes that were like Purple Heart guys. Yeah. And so our leadership at the WTB was like, yeah, you guys go do what you want. And we're all like E5s and above. So they're like, go do what you want. Make your medical appointments. Show up to formation at first. Check in first formation. Make your medical appointments. Then you're done for the day. Yeah. Do what you want.
Don't get in trouble. Stay off the blotter.
So I'd just go to the gym, and then I'd go back to the EOD company and just go hang out over there in civilian clothes, hobbling around on my crutches and stuff. And
what's up, losers? How's work?
Talking mad shit to the new privates that are just coming to the company.
This is your future.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. So.
Dang, dude, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. So then that process took like 2 years.
To get med boarded out?
Yeah. It was September 30th, 2012. It was a year and a half-ish. And I got out in April 2014 is when I got my discharge paperwork.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And then back to Idaho?
Yep, straight back to Idaho.
How'd your wife take it? How was that?
So that was, she handled like a champ, man. We had been married for a year when I left for deployment. So we'd been married for 1 year, and then I deployed. She was down in living with her sister in California. And then obviously she gets, apparently the Army notification system is complete garbage. They told her I had gotten hurt. They didn't necessarily tell her what had happened or how hurt I was and all those other things. My platoon sergeant thought I was dead. They told him I died. He punched a hole through the wall because he thought I died.
No.
Yeah, like just the notification system was so messed up. Everyone didn't know what was going on and all this stuff. But, by the time I landed in Walter Reed, she was there waiting. Oh. So that was super. And then she stuck, obviously, with me the entire time. And that poor gal, like when I got out of the hospital, like she'd obviously wheel me around and do all that stuff. But when I got out of the hospital and they took away my electric wheelchair, they gave me just a regular piece of crap one.
Yep.
She, I had my pickup truck and I would wheel over and I'd climb in, and then she'd have to lift the wheelchair into the bed of the truck and take me all my appointments and do all that stuff. But, she handled like a champ.
You got a good one, man.
She was awesome, yeah.
A lot of them don't stick around.
No, they don't.
You hear some of the horror stories.
Oh, I've heard tons and seen it firsthand from all my friends that just went through some
dudes coming out of comas in the wedding ring sitting next to their bed.
Yep.
Wives they're not even out of their coma yet, and their wives are already pop smoke and gone. So
yeah.
You got a good one, man. You got a pretty good thing going on.
Yeah, I do. We've definitely come a long way. We've grown a lot together.
Well,
and we just hit 13 years.
Good for you guys.
Last week.
Now you're all in the canning and preserving and gardening.
Gardening and chickens and all that stuff.
Isn't this an awesome chapter of life?
It is. It's fun. We got our kids and they like doing the same things, going out and tending the garden and the chickens with us and doing that type of stuff. So
I'm glad to see you've come a long way, man, because we met, gosh, it's got to be almost a decade ago.
It was
8 years,
2015. because it was before I had Presley.
Yep.
It was before that. I was in helicopter flight school.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was like 2015-ish.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You've come a long way. It's pretty cool to see
Yeah.
the growth and the maturity and starting a family and
Yeah.
a lot of the anger and
A lot of that
resentment
stuff
goes away.
Yeah.
But
Just start living life and
you
enjoying
have
it,
to.
man, and just finding other things to keep your mind occupied and look forward to, like when I got out, like I was bummed, as I said, because like I was in the middle of re-enlisting and I had been selected for CAG tryouts and stuff for the EOD side of things. Like me and one other dude got selected to go to the tryouts when we got back from deployment. So like, we're hard charging, like we're going to do this super cool guy stuff. We're going to go to these tryouts and all this stuff. And we both got blown up. We both got discharged.
Damn.
Our platoon, let's say 3 teams of 3, 9 dudes, I think we had 7 Purple Hearts.
That's a pretty high rate.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. I said we were all
What's he
down.
doing now? Where's he at?
He's in Colorado. His wife was she's still in. She's an officer.
Okay,
She was actually one of our lieutenants.
Really?
Yeah, on deployment.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
And he's enlisted?
Yeah, he
Good
was
for
enlisted.
him. Good for him.
Yeah. They actually got Purple Hearts together. They were on the same incident, and he was the team leader. She was around, but all 3 of the techs there got hit.
No
at the same
shit.
time. Yeah.
Damn, man, that's crazy. But at least they're doing good now. It's there's a lot. I like to think that there's more success stories about after getting hit and because a lot of guys go down some pretty dark holes.
They do, and like I can't say I didn't go down a dark hole for a little bit, but like as I said, like I know guys that didn't mentally prepare themselves very well, and they didn't get hit, but just the stuff they saw is just torturing them.
Well, it's war, man.
It's war,
It's
and it's war as hell.
Yeah.
And I just think a lot of my life experiences, even before the military, and even just going in a few years later, getting a little bit of life experience under my belt, and then just having the fortitude, just like, all right, I know what I'm about to do and what I'm about to see. Like, you're never gonna exactly know what's gonna happen, right? But like, I tried to mentally prepare myself enough, and I think that helped me out a lot.
Okay.
But when I got out, like I had 0 direction, 0 purpose. I'm like, I can't go back fighting wildfire, which I would love to do again, but physically I can't do that as a job.
Yeah.
All these things that I love to do, like I couldn't, I didn't know what I wanted to do for work. I went back to school. Didn't want to do that. That sucked. And then I went to flight school, and that was cool, but it turns out job opportunities weren't the best there. So then I went back to school, then got involved with you and Wishes. Yep. And then that actually kind of directed me a lot.
Oh, cool,
honestly,
man.
because like
I don't think we've ever talked about it.
No, because like when you and I first got started, and like you took me on that deer hunt in Texas, that deer and pig hunt, and you're like, hey, like you want to help us out and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah. So we started doing the marketing events together, right? And SHOT Show and fundraising.
God, SHOT Show was wild back then.
Oh my God, it was.
We would die now if we went.
Oh yeah.
If we did what we were doing then, I would.
Yeah.
My body would.
No
quit,
way I could
like.
do that anymore.
No way.
No way.
Dude, those were good days.
Oh, it's so much fun. Like.
Is that when you got connected with MCM? Because that's where you're at. You've been there with them for a while.
Yeah, I've been with them for almost 5 years now. Yep. Yeah. So when circle back, like when I was doing Wishes stuff, I got connected with this guy who wanted to do a fundraising event at the gym called the Mecca Gym here.
Yep.
And so, but they wanted to provide all the proceeds to a charity, and so I got hooked up, and so we did that powerlifting event. And Wishes was
out in the parking lot. I remember that one.
So we got hooked up with that, and that's where I met Brock at MCM Firearms and some other guys, and then I ended up doing an internship at US Night Vision.
That's right. You were there for
so
a
I
while.
did there for a few years and worked for them and ran their marketing.
Yep.
Because I was like, hey, I can do social media and all this other stuff, and so I started doing that because I was doing that with you.
Yep.
And I started doing that, and then moved over to MCM, and so I said Wishes kind of directed me into like kind of that gun and night vision and just fun hunting side of things. So that's like, because I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do.
None of us do.
And so like I just kind of took what experience I got doing what I did with you with Wishes and just kind of rolled it into, it was like, well, I'm going to go finish my marketing degree because I like doing the marketing with Wishes, doing the events, talking to the people, doing that type of stuff. And then I just kind of followed that path to
MCM and crushing, making guns and
building
custom.
Guns and Cerakote and doing.
You've done
all
a lot for us. I always have a project or something. I always text you and I need it last minute. And
we're happy to squeeze it in. There's certain people we can deal with.
Typical Wishes
BAM shit.
Shit.
It's not Wishes stuff. It's BAM stuff.
I need this gun. I need this Cerakoted.
Yeah.
When do you need it by? 2 days.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes.
Let me see what we can do.
Damn, dude, I'm glad we finally got to sit down. It's been a while. I
has
think
been.
life has been crazy, but I'm very happy for you. I'm glad that everything's going really well with your family, and you got the kids running around now. You got a beautiful home and wife, and
Yeah, thank you.
loving life and working for Brock over at MCM building guns. I mean, it doesn't get much better, man.
No, it's been fun. As I said, yeah, just once you figure out what's important in life, everything else seems minute at that point, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, everyone likes money and all that stuff. Yeah, it's great, but like, you gotta enjoy what you do. And I get plenty of time with my family, spending time with kids, picking them up from school when I can,
greatest,
and then
isn't
playing outside in the garden with the chickens and doing all that stuff. We don't have a lot of hobbies. We used to party when we were younger, and we're over that stuff now.
Homebodies, dude.
Homebodies.
Team homebody.
I'll still drink some bourbon and whiskey at home, but I don't go out anymore. We'd rather just
Nope.
hang out at home and enjoy it and save some money and spend it on fun stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, in closing, if you had any advice for any veterans that have gone through some shit or going through some shit or anything like that, is there anything you would like to share with them? I mean, because obviously you've seen the depths of hell.
Yeah. I mean, find someone to talk to. That's first and foremost. Find someone that's relatable. And I think that's important too. Like you can talk to a lot of people that'll listen to you, and they're genuine and sincere, but it's hard to talk to someone that can't relate.
Yeah.
And like they don't understand. They'll listen to you, and they might show remorse and try to be there for you, but they can't relate. And so like getting with Wishes immediately with you, and then the guys down in Texas that we went down, and then all the other vets that you and I helped and took to shows and hunting. Like it was just a brotherhood, and like that just clear. Everyone just kind of brought everyone else's spirits up, and that really helped me out a lot, I think.
Oh, cool, man.
It was Wishes really is what kind of set me kind of on a path, as I said. Like, it might not have been directly correlated to the choices I made, but you opened my eyes up a lot more, and then the guys around, just a great group of guys. Like Eric, I still scroll through pictures of us at SHOT Show with that little foam hand taped to his nut, stuff like that.
Well, dude, whenever you're ready. I know you got busy for a while, but we're here, and we're always looking for help, dude. And you want to get back into it, dude? I'm right down the road. So.
Yeah. No shit. You guys have been here for a little bit now. It's time we actually
7 years. I'm coming up on 8 years now. So
that long already?
I think it was 16 when we got here.
Damn.
Yeah,
because it was right after Presley was born, I think.
Yep, it's been a minute. So
yeah.
Well, dude, I love you, man. I'm glad you're doing good, and I'm glad we finally got to sit down and
man, me too.
shoot the shit. So
cool.
I appreciate you. If anybody wants to get a hold of you or get any guns, I mean, you've been Cerakoting guns for me for
years
since you've been there. Even I think before you were there.
Yeah, they did stuff for Wishes before I was there.
It's the best Cerakoting that and this isn't some plug for Brock. We're MCM, but I mean, dude, you guys did Christie's first hunting rifle ever, and we beat the shit out of it, and it's.
Yeah, I mean, we pride ourselves in what we do, and we build, high quality guns and Cerakote, and that's what we enjoy. You can hit us up either at MCM Firearms on Instagram or our website mcmfirearms.com. But you can check out all of our work and stuff that we do there. But we do a lot of stuff, and we love to help Wishes out. It's a great cause. Brock's a huge veteran supporter. He's not a veteran himself, but he was supporting Wishes before I even met him. Yep. Right, I met him at a Wishes event. So he's been there since day one. Yep. So good guys, good company.
Well, cool, dude. I appreciate you.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me on. It's been fun.
Always, dude.
Good time.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.